Thank you for tuning in. Hope your weekend is starting out well. It's May the 28th, 2022. We're live here at Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130, every Saturday morning for the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Scott Wolmering of the WE team, the Minnesota Real Estate team with RE/MAX Advantage Plus, Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans. I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus. We appreciate you joining us. Today we've got a lot of great stuff to cover. We are live again from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. talking all things real estate, mortgage related. We have Jared Havens with Credit Life here today. Does an awesome job. We're going to be talking all things credit. Good morning to those joining us already on social media. Troy, good morning to you. Again, questions throughout the show. Please don't hesitate to interrupt us. Mike, nice to see you, bud.
Good to see you, Ryan.
We got a lot going on in the mortgage world.
We do. I actually have good news to talk about with rates today.
Hey,
Awesome.
First time in a while,
I love it.
right?
good news indeed. Scott Wolmering, good morning to you.
Yeah, morning to you as well. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Like Ryan said, 612-294-6949 is how you can kind of enter the discussion. You can call us and go live on air, which is always fun, or you can text us at that number. Or if you're following on Facebook, which obviously you are, you can also just type your questions in there and we'll handle it.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff going on. Jared, are you ready for today?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's go. I'm ready. Are we live?
Okay, live. I hope everybody's the start to the weekend. It's obviously Memorial Day weekend. It's hard to believe it's already the end of May, guys. I can't believe it.
I can't either.
Well, it just finally warmed up, too.
I was going to say, we just finally got some warm weather.
The year has been zipping by on us. Again, as you watch the show too, if you think of comments or questions, please don't hesitate to put them in. We're happy to take your questions. We're going live on air right now. Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Good morning. Welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in. May the 28th, 2022, live here at Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130, every Saturday morning for the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering of the WE team, the Minnesota Real Estate team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus, and I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus as well. Thank you for tuning in. Hope your Memorial Day weekend is starting out well. And good morning, Scott and Mike. Good to see you guys, as always.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you've not checked out our website before, might want to do that. It's mnrealestateshow.com. You'll find out everything about the team, how we work. If you want to find out what your home's worth, there's a free service we provide where you just click free market analysis. And an expert agent that specializes in your area on the team will tell you what your home is worth. And if you have any questions directly for Ryan and I, there's a button called Ask the Big Brains, and you can click that and type in, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, I got people joining on social media. Good morning, Emmett, joining us on LinkedIn. Thank you again, whether you're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube,
MySpace.
Mike.
MySpace.
I think we're hitting them all, Mike.
I think we are. Yeah, MySpace, we get the most
Yeah, that's right.
viewers
The most
I think,
views.
on there. Yeah.
God, remember MySpace? That just completely disappeared.
Was it the first one?
It was
out
the
there?
first. It was, and normally, if you're the first out of the gate, that's the one that sticks.
Right.
But yeah, they just completely disappeared.
Scott, we're glad you're feeling a little better. We already had a comment come in from Pete saying, "What's up with Scott's voice?" Scott was under the weather, tested multiple times negatively for COVID. You've had the bad flu, my friend.
It has been. It's been a rough week. Except for the fact that I was sleeping 20 hours a day. But yeah, I'm feeling better. But could not believe it was not COVID. But I took three different tests, and it's not.
Twitch. Min just commented on the social media stream. You guys need to be on Twitch.
Oh, Twitch is that's an amazing platform.
Are you on there much, Jared?
I used to be.
Tell me what it is. I'm
So
not familiar.
Twitch is basically, it started out more of like a gaming streaming channel, like a YouTube, but primarily for gamers, but it's blown up. I mean, it's owned by Amazon. I mean, all sorts of different streamers on there, from, you know, real estate topics to, I mean, think of YouTube, but it's more geared towards live stream primarily.
I see.
It does still house the previous videos and the streams, but it's more of a live stream. So perfect for something like this, actually.
Kind of twitching.
Yep. You just twitch out.
Twitch out.
We just twitch out on
Hey,
it.
Mike, we got to hit an update here. First segment, mortgage rates. You have good news. You
I
said.
do. So over the last week and a half, we've had this nice little run in the market where rates have actually come down. So they've come down about a quarter, maybe-ish, roughly, over the last week and a half. Slow and steady, kind of just like our rise of interest rates since the spring was a little bit quicker than this. But nonetheless, how many times have we said this year that rates actually came down recently?
Yeah, not
Not
very
many,
much.
right? And so that's the good news of the week here. So most people on a standard conventional 30-year fix, you're going to be at the 5.125-ish area, give or take, depending on credit score and other factors. I actually priced one out on Friday, which was just yesterday. It was at 4.875 on a 30-year with no discount points. Now, granted, she had top tier credit and 70% down. So that's
Wow.
yeah, that's not common, right? Having that big a down payment stuff.
70% down.
Yeah. So she was actually at 4.875 and no discount points. We haven't seen a 30-year fix start with a 4 with no discount points for
Yeah.
a long time. So it's good news. It's good news to see.
So discount points, Mike, what percent of the borrowers you're working with are paying that? In other words, paying a fee up front, a one-time fee to get the lower rate. Are you seeing much of that?
Not many are doing it because a lot of people are predicting a recession coming up. And typically with a recession comes lower interest rates. So why pay the money now when you're thinking that in the next 12 to 24 months, sometimes you're going to be refinancing.
Yeah.
So they're going to hold that money back. And if they're going to do anything, they're going to buy the rate down when rates drop so they can get down to that next level once that happens.
Yeah, I was just actually talking with a builder rep, and you know, I mean, let's face it, you know, we've hit a wall here. I mean, things have slowed down drastically, especially in anything over 600 grand. I mean, it's really slowed down, and the builders are hurting because, I mean, obviously everything they're selling is over 600,000. One thing I thought that they might want to run as a promotion is the old 3-2-1 buy down. You know, where you buy your rates down three percentage points the first year,
Yep.
makes it affordable. Two points the next year, and then 1 point, because most of them already pay closing costs.
Mhm.
You know, so I mean, you know, you're gonna obviously it's gonna be worked into the price of the house, but it sure would make it affordable for people because, you know, you went from 2.8 to 5.5 in basically 100 days,
Right.
and so there's a little payment shock out there.
You'll see some creativeness coming out of that.
Yeah.
The other thing with new construction too is your property taxes are, very low because you're just paying lot taxes for the first 1 to 2 years. So, a lot of people are talking, it's like, all right, so yeah, our rate's higher, but we have this break on property taxes. By the time the full property taxes hit, that recession is probably going to be here, so we can finance to a lower rate. So now hopefully their payment ends up staying the same once those full taxes kick in. So there's a couple different ways to look at it, but you'll definitely see some creativeness coming up with different incentives.
Real estate wise update here in the first segment. And again, you're welcome to join us 612-294-6949 by phone or text. We are live here until 11. New listings in the Twin Cities were down this week by 6%. 1,875 new listings. Pending sales down. In other words, accepted purchase agreements down almost 20%. So a very sizable drop, as Scott was just saying, in pending sales with the rise in interest rates. So things are definitely slowing down here in the Twin Cities. The overall inventory is closer now to last year at this time, down just 3%, 6,152. Scott, we're seeing a lot of price reductions. We're seeing a lot of reverse prospecting by agents because their listings are not selling.
Yep.
We're seeing a lot more open houses. We're seeing builders reach out and say, Scott, I need your help now.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, and it's what is so weird is literally it's been in the last 3 weeks
Mhm.
where, I mean, you can almost pinpoint when it happened. I've got a listing I've got to active, so I won't name the city, but it's an outer ring suburb. And, 30 days ago, there was only 2 homes that we would be competing against. And, and everything sold, 15 offers, 25 offers. Now there's 15. that are active on the market for 30 days, on the market for 60 days.
Wow.
And all, built after 2010, very similar to my house. And, we've been on for almost 3 weeks, and I think we're at 6 showings. We would have had, if this was literally 2 months ago, we would have had 25 showings in the first 2 days.
Do you think it has anything to do with end of school year, preparing for graduations, things like that? Or is it just a coincidence that that's happening now, right around like the time that school's ending?
I don't. I think that it's a culmination of everything we just talked about. We've got housing prices that have just been growing, incredibly fast. You've got interest rates that have, doubled in the last, 3-4 months, and you've got inflation through the roof. All of that at some point it's got to make an impact.
Yeah.
And I just think for whatever reason, well, and you put along with that the fact that normally late summer you get a pushback on the market anyway, like we did last year.
Yeah.
I just think we're 45 days ahead of where we were last year, because last year it came in July where all of a sudden the market just pushed back.
I wanted to give a shout out to my dear niece, Madeline O'Neill, who's getting married today. Very excited for her, her future husband, Sean. And the wedding is down in Lakeville. So looking forward to the big wedding today, Mike.
Nice.
It's going to be fun. Maddie is a sweetheart. So excited for her. And that's my oldest brother, Dan, Dan's daughter. So big congratulations to Dan, who also tunes into the show now and then.
Well, and you know what I say, the wedding is the hard part. So Maddie and Sean, once you get past the wedding, the actual marriage is always bliss. It's just getting that wedding done.
He's just terrible, isn't he? You can't say anything nice.
Hey, he speaks from experience. You know what I mean? Take his word for it. He's,
Someone did comment the other day when Scott introduced himself that he just mentioned he's 2 times divorced and single. And then someone, I forget who it was, randomly sent me a note and said, did that guy on the show really say he's twice divorced?
I am twice divorced.
Hey, we already are up against the first break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a couple questions come in as well through the website, mnrealestateshow.com, that we're going to get to as well. Chuck, we'll get to your question after the first break here. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, whether you are on any of the social media platforms except Twitch. 612-294-6949. Mike, what amount are you down in mortgages this year in mortgage origination with these rising rates?
Ooh, that's a good question. I haven't looked at that compared to last year yet.
10%, 20%, do you think?
Purchase wise, probably ahead of the game, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
Purchase wise, probably ahead of the game. Refi wise, I mean,
Yeah.
the only refis I'm doing now is divorce situations where you kind of have to do something. You got to get one person off, or cash outs where people just want to wrap everything and get that thing done. That's about the only 2 scenarios you see a refi now. So I probably got 3 refinances in May going, and the rest are all purchases from there. So overall, if you take both of them, I bet we're down 30%.
Well, I saw an
35.
article this week that talked about the massive amount of layoffs in the mortgage industry.
Huge.
They were talking about, everyone
Oh, for sure.
running for the hills.
Well, and the other thing is we're going to lose real estate agents. When you're doing 30% less actual transactions,
It has to happen.
it's got to come from somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to lose, I don't know, 30% of the real estate force, and I would think it'd be the same.
On our end,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
Have you seen it, or do you know any friends or anyone that hey, they got a layoff or anything like that in our market?
Yeah, there's definitely some companies that are laying people off. Fortunately, we haven't had to do that up to this point. We have cut some hours and stuff too, because it's we don't want to get rid of people. That's kind of the last resort, because when you have good people that work hard for you and they've been loyal to you, you want to do what you can to keep them.
Yeah.
Because production will come back up, and then you want to have your good people there still too. You don't want to get rid of staff and then have to restaff and all that stuff. So we've adjusted, I think, very, very well to it. But yeah, you're gonna see more and more of it.
We got to invite Jared Havens on. Jared is
I'm just listening. I love
owner,
it.
founder of a company called Credit Life. Awesome company. They do so much to help people from a credit standpoint. Jared, good to have you as always, bud.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Luckily for us, we haven't slowed down at all. But I get it. I mean, I've been looking at it going like, there is just so much going on in this market. Like, and I feel like people like yourself are the ones that will obviously come out on top still, just because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that were riding certain, you know, waves and didn't necessarily treat it as a business. And I think that's the difference, really. And so, yeah, I mean, this always happens. I mean, I remember when I first got in the industry, it was through, we hopping back on.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, my biological father is a broker out of California. That's actually how I got my start. So when I moved out there and I was 18, you know, that was during the time of Countrywide and New Century Mortgage and that whole thing. So I experienced that at a young age and saw like how these shifts happen, you know, and even though this is different,
Yep.
if you just look back at the history,
Here we go,
there's
guys.
always a correction. I mean, it is what it is.
Mhm.
We're going back live on air. Thanks for tuning in to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hey, welcome back. Boy, this will get you fired up.
Oh, yeah.
That's Eye of the Tiger, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
This will get you fired up. Speaking of Eye of the Tiger, how about Top Gun? Everybody's talking about, I mean,
I want to see it.
Yeah.
oh my gosh, they say it's like the movie of the century. I guess I was talking, my wife Kathy had mentioned that it's been delayed for a really long time through COVID. There was a long delay to having it come out in the theaters, obviously with everything going on, but it's pretty exciting. You guys you seen it? Anybody?
I haven't seen
I haven't seen it, but I want to go.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, that was my favorite movie when I was a kid.
Really?
Oh yeah, I love that movie. I've seen it 50 times probably. There's photos going around on Facebook of Tom Cruise, and I can't even remember her name, the actress that played the instructor that they had the
Robin Gillis?
yes,
Or
yeah. It is unbelievable. I mean, you know, Tom Cruise looks like he's been in a time capsule. He looks
well, but there's
he
been
looks
some
this-
of the talk that it's kind of fake, though. Have you heard about that online? Where I've seen that where they show Tom Cruise, but it's like not actually him. There's something with that.
Well, you can tell it's definitely Tom Cruise, but I'm talking more about her. I mean, she's
Unrecognizable.
unrecognizable. I mean, if she looks like she's 80 years old and 300 pounds. And,
You are just terrible.
It's not terrible. I'm just stating the facts.
You are just terrible.
But it is amazing.
You
I'm gonna try to find it. Show Ryan.
I was going to say Tom Cruise is almost like what's that one character guy, Paul Rudd or whatever? Like they don't age.
No,
It's
Hey,
kind of crazy.
He looks great.
I do want to. I got a nice text from my brother Dan, and he is listening. And the whole family's excited for Maddie's wedding today. It will be a ton of fun. She is such a sweetheart. It's going to be in Lakeville, so we'll look forward to seeing you, Dan, and seeing everybody. It will be so much fun. We were talking again to Jared Havens with Credit Life, and Jared, it is your service that you're providing is just super important for people wherever they might be in life, whether they are going through a divorce, whether they filed bankruptcy, whether they have medical debt, all the stuff that life unfortunately can hit us with.
Yep.
And you're a trusted partner that steps in to help people wherever
Yep.
they might be.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that. And even with the way the market's been, like we were just discussing earlier, a big part of what we've been doing is assisting clients who are, you know, they've been sitting around that mid-tier credit range, maybe sitting at like an FHA pre-approval. And it's just been very difficult for them as of late anyways to compete in this market. And so what we've been doing is, you know, really working with them to you know, repair that and build up their scores to get access to like better mortgage financing options to someone like Mike. Because one, you know, you not only are you able to compete, you know, in this market, but more importantly, it's more about, at least for me, it's like the overall savings you experience from going from like a 640 to 720. I mean, it's absolutely significant. Then if you think about it, even, you know, interest rates have gone up. Yes. But once again, to me, my point is the same. Yes, it has gone up. So we need to work and be strategic on to help you get more buying power. You know, let's spend a little bit of time here if you have the time, so that we can boost that up, because in the end, it's just going to put you in a much better position.
Jared, we got to give a shout out. I know Scott was mentioning it before the show too. So Jared Havens, if you follow him on social media on Facebook, also is a very accomplished public speaker. You've been doing a wonderful job. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very blessed. I mean, it was actually a goal of mine for many years. I've always wanted to speak. Like I've just always been drawn to that, and it just started picking up. It started doing more virtual events during COVID, getting some awareness recognition there, and then getting booked out to a lot of real estate events, financial events, all throughout the nation now. Usually every month I'm at 2 different events every month since like last year in October. It's been really fun.
It's been cool. I know, Scott, you've seen
Yeah.
it too. Mike, you have where, a lot of different real estate companies, some of our friends at the different, real estate brokerages and companies where you're speaking to their agents, speaking to them about what you do. Mike, you work hand in hand with Jared. I mean, it's just so important.
It is, and it's one of those things too. There's a lot of deals that wouldn't happen without their help. So credit's one of those things that, what was the line? Common sense is not common when it comes to credit.
That's right.
What you think would be good for your credit, hey, I got this collection, I'm going to pay that thing off to get myself in a better position, while you just woke a sleeping giant and your score just went down because you did that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Weird stuff like that people are like, that doesn't make any sense. And like, that's our point. If you don't know how it works, you're going to hurt yourself more than help yourself. And so that's why you
Exactly.
get plugged in with these guys.
Well, and I just had a perfect example of that on like the other side is, so I was recently at an event in Massachusetts, which was my first time out of Boston. It was amazing. I loved it. I wish I could have stayed longer to really experience it, but I met a lot of great people there. One of them being a broker, and he reached out because we're looking at business credit options, how to build business credit, how to leverage business financing to grow his brokerage. But with that, personal credit still plays a role, especially in the beginning. So we look at both, when I'm helping clients like this. And the one thing we're talking about, just to kind of get to know a situation, is, he's doing great credit, but he has a couple cards that he has just left completely stagnant. And he's been receiving notifications that they're basically saying, hey, if we don't get activity on this, we're going to close it. And I was like, hey, we need to get some activity on this. I'm like, you've had these for, I think it was like over 20 years. I was like, the length of credit history associated to those accounts, if that gets closed, that's going to negatively impact your score. And he was like, that makes no sense to me, but okay, I'll do it.
But okay.
But you know what I mean? It's like, it's just so all the different spectrums. It doesn't always mean that it's just for poor credit. Like literally we help people of all different, tiers, because to me, it's like, if we can always get you to the next level, the type of opportunity that opens up for you, that's what it's all about, is leveling up.
You're doing that event though next week with
Locally.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yes. Oh, really, really excited about that. We have Jason Walgrave. We're partnering with Jason Walgrave and his team on it, but it's open to all. And what we're doing is it's for, and it could be, real estate agents or business owners. It's like agents can attend, retail. I mean, you name it, transportation. If you're a business owner, or if you want to start a business, next week on Saturday at 11 o'clock at our office in Burnsville, we're going to be hosting an event. We're going to bring in some barbecue,
Nice.
make it some fun. You know what I mean? Got to do some barbecue. And we're going to real time teach people, hey, here's how business credit works. Here's how you actually establish a business credit profile. Here's how you build up your scores. Here's how you can start leveraging that to, obtain financing to grow your business. But another benefit of that too is you begin over time to separate your personal from your business. And that's also key. It's like the benefit of the benefit in a way.
Very cool. We were during the break and prior to the show. So Mike Overson, and his dear wife, Jen, his better half, always do such a fun event. They do this summer party. And thinking about movies, I was joking with Mike and Jared and Scott about The Great Gatsby. So the Great Gatsby, he's got this house and just this huge party. It's like, so anyway, we were talking about, Mike, your summer party is like The Great Gatsby. You're on a lake,
Yep.
kind of like Gatsby. It's a nice home. It's maybe not quite as extravagant, but I mean, you got to be there, right, Jared? What do you think?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, that's what he said. I was like, that's a no-brainer. You got to go.
What do you think, Scott?
Oh yeah. You got to hit Mike's party. It's a blast every year. Everyone that is anyone is there. Ryan's never there.
We were joking. Yeah, we were joking a little bit about the invites, and I was giving Mike a bad time. I said, well, I don't think I even got an invite, Mike. I didn't get a Facebook invite. But it is a fun party, isn't it? I mean, you invite kind of everyone, basically.
We do, yeah. Everyone can come. except for a couple in-laws of ours, just kidding. Everyone's invited. Everyone could come, and we try to make it fun for all ages. You know what I mean? So
Yep, kids love it.
we'll have 1-year-olds there, and we got a little playpen, kind of a, I don't know, almost like a dog kennel type of thing set up where parents can put their kid in there, and then they take turns watching each other's kids. So now you can kind of step away and go have some fun, and other parents are kind of watching, that kids that are in there. And we got bounce houses for the next level of kids, and we got all the way up to, water slides and swimming in the lake and fireworks for the adults.
We should have somebody create an online meme just showing like of Leonardo DiCaprio in The Great Gatsby with like Mike's photo.
Yes.
Put my face in there.
Mike's photo holding the glass.
Yeah.
He's holding the glass. It is a fun party, and
That was the worst movie, by the way.
you didn't like
It
that.
was the worst movie
I've never seen
in
it.
the
So.
in the history of movies.
Wow.
When it came out, Savannah and I was my middle daughter. We were at a volleyball thing in Rochester, so I'm like, "Oh, hey, I read that book in high school, and let's go watch it." We left. I mean, we just kept looking at each other, going, "Is this?
You want to
I
say?
mean, this is crazy." And then I get back to the show, and Ryan's like, "Oh my God, saw the best movie this weekend." I'm like, "What? The Great Gatsby?" I'm like, "What is wrong with it?" I mean, it was absolutely horrible.
hey, we did have a question come in. Chuck said, guys, just curious what you think the real estate market will be later this summer. I have to decide to try and sell with the Fed raising rates or rent for a year until rates might stabilize. It looks like he's in 48th in Chicago area, in Minneapolis. Does he sell now? Does he wait? With Fed raising rates, Scott?
You don't. I mean, we can show you a number of rental calculators. It never makes sense to wait and rent. You need to buy. Rents are more expensive than home mortgages are anyway. You're still going to get top dollar for your. I'm assuming. What street was he at?
Well, and I don't know if the home is rented. He didn't mention if it's currently rented, whether he should continue to rent for a year. But
Okay.
he's basically just saying, curious what you think the real estate market will be later this summer. I have to decide to try and sell with the Fed raising rates or rent for a year until rates stabilize.
The overall market is going to be solid. So again, anything under $500,000 is still extremely aggressive right now. So, I mean, it's going to be consistent. The lack of inventory will drive that. So there's still a ton of pressure there. Where we're seeing it slow down is in the
More expensive stuff.
Yeah, more expensive stuff. Yeah, it just those prices kind of got out of hand. Now with all of a sudden interest rates going up, you're just seeing a pushback. But under $500,000, you're still going to be better off.
Mike,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah. So think of this. So if you're a buyer out there, you got pre-qualified, you were at 3.5%, right? And you qualified for $650,000. Well, now at 5.25%, you're down now to 550 or 525, right? So you got those people that are pushing down in that bread and butter price point. So you're going to have more people entering down there,
That's right.
right? And so that's going to stay strong, right? So that's going to be ultra competitive for a while yet. It's going to be the upper bracket homes where they start losing people that can qualify up in that range, and that's why we're seeing it slow down.
That's right.
Yeah, we're happy.
Sorry. I was just going to say really quick. Sorry about that. But
That's okay.
one thing that I've always thought about as well is that if you look back at the trends, I know a lot of times people want to time it. They look back at 2008 and go, "Ooh, that could happen again, and I want to time it on the down and try to go in on the up." And the reality is, I feel like the way the market is and how it's positioned and the lack of inventory, lack of homes in general versus demand. I mean, I think it's at like 5 million or something that homes that still need to be built is what they're saying. It's a major benefit to own, period. That's just the truth, especially like with stocks and what's happening in the stock market. If you ever see things happen in stocks, it's like a lot of people, you'll see investors start to move towards owning. It's always best to own something physical like a property. It really is.
Yeah, again, Chuck, we're happy to do a market analysis for you too. Certainly no obligation, just to give you an idea, even where you're at right now, whether you do keep it as a rental. I think the only other point I'll make, and then we'll go to break, is just part of it is just life timing. I think a lot of it is, I think next year the market probably will be very similar, in my opinion, as where we're at right now. And so I think a lot of it is just life timing. Do you want to sell and be done with the property and move on with life with that? If so, I think it's a great time to sell. Things that are priced correctly are selling and still receiving multiple offers. It's just that buyers are not paying way over, like in a lot of cases they were. And there's not 15 offers, there may be 3 offers on the property. So we're up against the break. We'll continue the discussion. 612-294-6949.
Yep, there it is.
That is a good question, though, Mike. What do you think? There they are. Yes, looks like a nice couple. Very nice couple.
I mean, my goodness.
Just different. That's life, though. Right?
I mean, that looks like him and his girlfriend, and then him and his grandmother.
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I see.
Well,
that.
they do say that Tom Cruise is a vampire.
Yeah, I know.
That's the word going around.
Yeah. Well,
He just means stays so
he
young.
stays so young.
He stays so young.
It's like Tom Brady. Tom, you just need to be.
You need to
the
be-
name Tom.
yes.
Yes.
Jared, we're kind of looking forward. If I'm not buying or selling a home right now, what do I need to be aware of for credit?
Yeah, I would definitely say that first step is, pulling your credit report. And that's something that you don't need to go to a lender for. If you're not applying for something, you wouldn't necessarily go to a lender just to pull and view your credit report. So we recommend with us, we are partnered with Smart Credit. So if you just go to smartcreditvip.com, we actually have for any one of our followers, clients, they get a discounted price point when they use that specific site. But what's nice about it is you can pull a report. It does cost money. It's $21, but you can pull a full report. It's a soft pull, doesn't hurt your scores at all. Gives you all the data, shows you where you stand. It actually shows where you stand for auto, home, insurance.
What is it again? Smart Client.
Smartcreditvip.com.
Smart Credit VIP.
Yep. That's really the first step. You have to have awareness. That really is. You have to educate yourself as what's on my credit report, what may be causing negative impact, what's positive. Is there any tweaks I can make to improve the score even more? What's nice is within Smart Credit 2, we have a tool in there that it'll show you when you reduce your revolving debt, your credit cards, it'll show you score improvement. So it offers a little bit of a simulator there. So that way, if it's not so much like, hey, I'm trying to repair some stuff in my past, like, late payments, things like that. It's more about debt management. It's going to give you some clarity on some things that you can do.
Here's the other thing too. So I'm working with an FHA buyer right now, who has signed up and working with you guys to get them in position. Their monitoring system popped up the other day. We're about 10 days away from closing. And on most loans, we have to do what's called a credit refresh. We have to basically re-pull a soft credit pull to see if there's any new accounts that have shown up, to see if they've had their credit pulled many other places, see if their credit card balance has gone up while collection popped up on the monitoring system. Right. And so we were able to address it and have them pay it off directly to the collection company before it even hit their credit. Because the collection company said, look, if you pay us off in full before this date, we won't report it to credit. It'll stay off there.
Yep.
So we were able to pay that off, and they're still in position. If that would have hit their credit, deal would have been dead.
Huh.
So there's situations where it's literally like, you got to watch that, real close, because otherwise that wasn't going to close. And it's a great system. So
very interesting.
Is that the one where Chris connected with you?
yeah.
Yeah, Chris told me about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another benefit. It's just, once again, it's having awareness. That's what that tool provides. It's really nice.
Because how often do people know that that's popping up until it's way too late?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's popped up and now it's a couple months down the road, and then they want to do something, and now it's like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Credit is just one of those things, though, that isn't logical. That's what I think makes it hard sometimes. What you think is a logical solution
Yep.
is not.
Yeah, exactly.
And medical collections are big too. Medical collections really don't look at, but they still hit your credit. They still hit your score. An underwriter's going to say it's a medical collection. We don't care if you pay it off or not. But if it drops your score far enough,
Exactly.
you might not meet the score requirements. And it's not because we care you got a medical collection out there. It's because your score now doesn't meet the program requirements.
So do lenders have tools, Jared, that are different from what you do? In other words, can lenders how does that compare what you offer?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Like, so on a lender side, a lot of them have simulators, debt reduction simulators as well. So they'll be able to see, like, if someone comes in, hey, if we reduce this debt load, the score improvement X amount, that's awesome stuff, right? But if you have someone that has like something going on in their past, that really requires someone like us to go in there and help repair that. It's a completely different thing.
So the similar might say, hey, address this collection, get it off your report, and this is what your score can go to. Well, how many people know how to effectively address that collection so that it comes off so that they get that score? Most people are just going to pay it off in full. Problem there is collection company's going to get their money. They're going to be like, hey, thanks. Not going to update your report.
Yep.
Now you just paid them and you got nothing out of it.
Yep.
Live on Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Hope your weekend's going well. Hey, welcome back, everyone. to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your weekend is going well. And it is Memorial Day weekend. We want to, do you guys know the history of Memorial Day?
I do not.
Mike, Jared, do you guys know?
Well, I mean, for me, it's in memory of people that served.
Yeah, so Memorial Day was declared a national holiday through an act of Congress in 1971, and its roots date back to the Civil War era, according to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Unlike Veterans Day, Memorial Day honors all military members who have died
Yep. Who have fallen.
while serving in U.S. forces.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
So 1971.
It's a very special day. I mean, imagine, the sacrifice that they made for this country. I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah. So thinking of everybody, friends, family, listeners, anyone who gave the ultimate sacrifice, we are thinking of you and wishing everyone a great Memorial Day weekend. Jared, Mike, Scott, a lot going on today, a lot of questions coming in as well. You know, I think the hard thing is sometimes people may hear and say that the market has changed. And again, Scott, it is sort of perspective. So we're still at almost record low, historically low inventory levels.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a bad time to sell, but overpricing is a problem. We're seeing a lot of overpricing in our market.
And it is the number one thing, and it's a struggle that realtors have with sellers all the time, to get them to understand that you do net considerably less money if you get aggressive on your price. And of course, it's an oxymoron. Doesn't make any sense. Well, wait a minute. If I'm aggressive on my price, I can always kind of come down. That's how people think. In a market where everybody believes everything sells in 25 seconds, if you overprice and you're on the market now for 2 weeks, what is wrong with this property? And it is the question that comes in from every single agent that is going to show that property. Why is this thing not sold? What are we missing? The buyers are freaked out. And so but it's the age-old battle. It's getting your seller to trust you enough to understand that I do this every single day. Here's the number you need to be at in order to be able to elicit this number. And, and you can only beat a dead horse so much. At some point, they're the boss and they're going to make the decision. You can counsel them as best you can, and at the end of the day, it's their choice.
Quick real estate tip for folks if you are selling or thinking of selling, and we've talked a little bit about this, but for example, instead of pricing your property, say at $299,900, price it at $300,000. And the question is why? Because again, all of the online search portals go by 25 or 50,000. So if you price at 300,000, now you're catching everyone that looks up to 300, but you're also pricing everybody that goes 300 to 350. Steve Johnson on our team has actually done some studies on this and shown how much more traffic has been driven simply by the price. So that's a little thing your agent should be doing.
Yeah, well, and I used to know these numbers. I cannot find this chart, and it's a few years old. I know that. So the 300 is probably now 400. But at that point, going 300,000 and $1 cost you 39% of the buyers. So as soon as you went $1 over 300 grand, you just lost 39% of the active buyers out there.
Right.
So of course it would make no sense to list your property at 3,099. I mean, you just lost 15 offers on your property.
And people do it all the time.
All the time. Drives me crazy.
3049.
Yes.
They'll price at 3049. They'll price at 259.9. And I get it. I understand, but it's just, you have to remember the first showing is online. The first showing is virtually, Mike.
I've got a prime example. I'll make it quick, but I had a property a couple of years ago on Shelby Avenue in St. Paul. And the seller he wanted to go 3099 because he wanted 300,000. And we went round and round. And I said, I will get you more than 300,000 listing it at 3, but you lose all these buyers by going 3099. Anyways, end of the day, nope, I want to go 399. So we were on the market for 3 weeks. We had 3 showings on it, no interest whatsoever. So then we drop it to 300. We get 5 offers on it and get 320. So at 3099, we had nobody interested in it.
Sure.
And then as soon as you drop to 300, you pick up this whole group of buyers.
Yep.
And then you end up getting, $10,000 more than the original list price.
Well, I feel like too, if you think about it, like the more interest you generate, the more competition that it generates. People make decisions off emotion,
That's right.
and they're going to be like, wait, how many showings? Okay, we need to make a decision here. We need to place an offer. We need to compete. So that's actually the type of energy you're looking to
That's
form
right.
for your home.
Yep. People are competitive at nature.
Here's a question that came in. Again, 612-294-6949. This one we have not had in a long time. A really good question, guys. It says, for someone looking to buy a property, what are the top 3 to 5 questions to ask when screening potential agents? So for someone looking to buy, what are the top 3 to 5 questions to ask when screening potential agents? Mike, do you have any initial thoughts?
In this type of market, one of the questions I'd ask is, do you do this full time?
Okay, why is that important?
Speed's the name of the game, right? So if you're working with an agent that has a daytime job and then does the real estate on, nights and weekends and things like that, listing comes on at noon, it might be gone by 5 o'clock by the time your agent can actually get you in for a showing to look at the house and things like that.
Good
So,
point.
so I think that would be one of the first ones in this type of market. That's one of the first questions I'd ask.
Okay, that's a big one. Scott, what comes to your mind?
Well,
at the top?
that was actually my number one. I would say that along that line of thinking in this market, do you operate as an individual or do you operate as a team?
Sure.
And the reason that that's important, because of speed being necessary, you're not an octopus. So if you're working with 10 buyers and you want to see a house tonight at 3 o'clock, and I'm working with 3 buyers from noon until 9 o'clock, I can't show that house. Well, that's fine, except the house is probably going to be gone. So what resources do you have in order for me to be able to still get in that house, even if it's not with you?
Right.
And like the way that our team operates, it's showing help.
Yeah.
So you'll put an email out and say, hey, I can't show my client a house that just came on today at 4 o'clock. Any agent on the team willing to do that, and you'll get responses. Yep, I'll show it, because you pay them to show it, but at least you get your client in. And if you're just your individual person, you're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think the only other things I would add to this are, it has to be someone that you trust. Kindness, care, honesty, low pressure. I know that sounds kind of corny, but you need someone that's not going to be trying to, hey, are you ready to write an offer? Hey, are you going to move quickly on this? Having someone that understands the transaction and the purchase agreement. Do you have someone that knows how all the contingencies work, how to structure multiple offers, experience, knowledge, working on a great team are all things that can help that agent really help you as the buyer. The last thing real quick is inventory. So in this market, guys, there's a lack of MLS inventory. What's happened over the years is that all of each company may have internal or withheld listings, which are not available to the public. They're only available to agents at that particular company. And so working with a buyer's agent who's part of a really strong listing team or listing brokerage will help you get more access to inventory, will give you more options. And that's where, again, nothing against any of my friends at small companies that maybe have 2 active listings. That's a disadvantage for their clients at the end of the day. And that's where buyers don't think about that. And that's a huge deal, guys.
That's a solid point.
It is. The other thing is back to trust. If you feel like you're being sold by your real estate agent, because real estate is not a sales job. It is a needs analysis job and a listening job. The market will take care. You're going to fall in love with a house. I don't have to sell you a house. So if you believe that your agent is selling you, time to get a different agent.
Time to part ways.
Yeah, and because if you believe they're trying to sell you, then when they come to you and they say, okay, there's 25 offers on this. Here's how we have to structure our offer in order for you to get it. If there's a hesitancy that, hey, is this person just trying to, can I really believe it? Then you have to go to somebody else.
Yep.
Because you have to be able to put full faith in that person.
Yeah, we're up against our final break. Really good question. Hopefully that helps you. Of course, we'd be honored to help you get to know you, buy you a cup of coffee, learn what you're looking for, and interview for the job. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. 612-294-6949. It's been a fun show. It's the final home stretch, last 15 minutes. I hope your Memorial Day weekend is going well. Jared, you doing anything fun?
I plan on making it a family weekend.
Nice.
Hang out with my girls. We're gonna get the fire pit out. We're gonna cook hot dogs on the fire. That's one thing they're all so into right now. Cooking hot dogs on the fire, open
Yeah.
flame. So
Oh,
it's fun.
really?
Yeah, I was like, all right, let's do it.
Hey, speaking of hot dogs, have any of you guys been to Uncle Frankie's?
I have not, no.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
It
Really
is-
good?
Oh my gosh. I saw it on Facebook. There was a guy that had said, what's the best hot dog place in the Twin Cities? And it's Uncle Frankie's. Just kept coming up. I mean, everybody was saying it.
Uncle
Huh.
Frankie's.
So anyways, I actually went and got a Coney dog,
Mm.
and they are just, I mean, it's
Where's
unreal.
Where they at?
Off Broadway in Minneapolis.
Uncle Frankie.
Uncle Frankie's.
Wow. Who is Uncle Frankie?
I don't know. I don't know, but it's a woman that runs it. She's a dynamo. She's that owns it. But it's called Uncle Frankie's. So if you're a hot dog person, they make their beef hot dogs. I mean, it's
Amazing.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Mike, we did have a question. When is Mike's party?
It's on July 2nd.
Okay.
Okay. We used to call it the July 4th party, but it's always on the Saturday, like closest to July 4th. And the problem there was people wouldn't read the invite and they would show up on July 4th when it was
Really?
actually on July 2nd. So the party'd be over. We'd be at home.
No way.
Whatever. And we'd have people showing up and they got, they're bringing their own little cooler and they got
They
their
got-
stuff. And
oh
I'm just
my
like,
goodness.
They got their
I love
float.
it.
They got
They
their
got their
floaties.
floaties.
So what did you do?
oh, just like,
Sorry, you missed it. I'll
Like-
send you a video.
they're like, where is everyone? We're like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, it was on the last Saturday, and this might be
Oh,
on a Monday.
no.
July 4th on a Monday. It was last Saturday. Sorry,
Did you even let them stay?
Yeah, I'm like, if you want to go help yourself,
Yeah, go ahead. Have fun.
You're a welcoming
Use
guy.
the backyard.
Just
It's
go
all
use
good.
the beach and hop on the lake and do your thing. Yeah, jet
Well,
skis right there if you want to use.
So the 2nd, July 2nd.
July 2nd, yeah. Usually people, we say, you can start coming over around 1 or 2. Most people start coming around 3 or 4. Depends on kind of what your schedule is, but people just come and go. Some will be there at 1 and stay till 3 because they got other stuff going on. Some people just come for the fireworks at night. Some people come for the entire time. So it's a fun deal. We have a food truck coming in. We have an ice cream truck coming in. We have live music this year. So we
Oh
got
my
a band
gosh.
coming in.
I want to see Mike dressed like Gatsby. You need to have a suit on with that hair. Let your hair grow long. Slick it back.
And hopefully
You-
it's like
you have
100
to-
degrees.
You have to
so
call. You have to call everyone Old Sport.
I can- sport.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Old
How you
sport.
doing, Old Sport?
I gotta watch that movie, so I get the
No, you
lingo
don't
down.
want to watch
It
that.
is good. I've watched it multiple
Oh my
times.
gosh.
I'll be the tiebreaker between you two.
Oh,
I'll,
there's
I'll
the-
watch it.
You watch it. Jared,
It is,
you've seen it.
It is.
I've seen it. I
Thumbs
didn't
up
mind
or
it.
thumbs down?
It wasn't
Sideways.
like the worst movie of all
It was
time.
the-
but it wasn't
It was
greatest
the
either.
worst movie of all
Here we
time.
go. Hey, thanks for coming back and joining us. It's the final segment. Really good question about buying in this market. What do you do? How do you know who to interview? Agents, speed. The guys talked a lot about speed, being sure your agent. And it's hard. Again, it's very hard. I know people that work the business part-time. It's tough. It is a job to work very hard part-time, guys.
Yeah, it is. Well, not only working with your client, but there's a lot of things that go into winning in a multiple offer, and one of those is the reputation of the agent that you're working with. And if you're working with a part-time agent, they're not returning emails promptly, they're not returning other agents'
Until
questions.
they're after work.
Yeah. So they're not going to be somebody that the listing agent is going to probably know, and if they do know, they're probably not going to be thrilled with the fact that they had a bad deal with them.
Sure.
And so then you're going to be kind of tossed out before you even write your offer.
So the human connection.
The human
too, is
connection,
really
very,
important. With
very
the
important.
knowing agents, being being maybe known as cooperative, as a writing good offers, clean offers. In other words, not missing check boxes, contingencies, reputable lenders. That's why we work with Mike and his team. Again, that can really help you as a buyer's agent versus going with the lowest rate, supposedly from some internet company in Tupelo, Mississippi. That's going to hurt you, Mike.
Yeah, I actually had a deal just this last week where I typically work with this buyer's agent. They refer a lot of clients to me. They had someone working with Quicken. They made an offer to this seller with the Quicken pre-approval letter, and the agent said, "Send me an offer with a local lender, and my sellers will accept it." And so then he called me and said, "Hey, here's the deal. This guy was pre-approved with Quicken, but we need a local lender here in." So so I took the deal over, got them approved. Yep, they're good to go. Made the offer with our pre-approval letter. Seller accepted it just like they did. So, I mean, there's countless examples of that where it's like we don't trust the outstate ones because you never know what you're going to get.
That's
You might get someone that was really good
Yeah.
and will close the deal on time and stuff, and you might get someone who just is absolutely horrible that never answers their phone or email, and then when the deal goes sideways, you can't get a hold of them.
Yeah. I mean, I can give you an example. This year, every single buyer purchase that I had this year, I knew the listing agent well, and so the reason that we got a counter back, hey, you're $5,000 low, will you go to this? Is because they've had transactions before. They know they're smooth. They know people are squared away. There's not going to be any hassles.
No surprises.
No surprises. And
Yep.
so, you look at net to your seller, and then you look at ease of sale, meaning that there's not going to be anything that comes up. And let's be honest, there are just agents out there that just are not very well organized, don't have their people squared away, and there's problems.
Hey, Jared, before I forget, when is that seminar, that business seminar you talked about? How do people get involved with that next week for business owners?
Yes, so please, easiest. So it's next week. It's next Saturday, 1 week from today. It starts at 11 a.m. It's in Burnsville. It's just called We're Open for Business. If you want, take my info down right now, and I'll get you over the info. Just go to my personal site. It's Jared, JERRAD 360.com. You can call me, text me. Just reach out. I have my social media links on there too. You can get it's all on Eventbrite. So if you reach out to me, jared360.com, JERRAD, and I'll get you over the invite. It's free to attend and would love for everyone to share it too. So I can send you over the Eventbrite ticket, and then you can share it as well. And, we're just looking to do a big push here locally.
Sure.
We do a lot of work all over, but, when it comes to business owners and what a lot of business owners are facing, in this, I'd say post-pandemic, in the shutdown, it's still impacting businesses greatly. And so I want to make sure that we're there to show them how to empower them to grow their business more strategically so they can kind of take hold of it and keep going.
Jared360.com.
Jared360.com. Check it out.
I love it. Hey, we've got a caller here. Dave, thank you for calling the Minnesota Real Estate Show. And how can we best help?
Enjoying your program, and as always, and I was interested in the pricing you were just talking about. Something don't list it at $299.9 or $304.9 or $3099. Listed at $300, and you're getting the people that are maybe looking in $300 to $350, right?
Correct, and you're also getting the people looking $250 to $300. If you go at $299.9, if you're looking from $250 to $300, you're still getting those people, but you're not getting the people looking from $300 to $350.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
Yep.
That's a very salient, cool point. Question: if you have do you feel the same thing works on a rental? I have a real nice home in Edina, actually, and for personal, for a lot of different reasons, business and personal, I don't want to sell it right now. So it's a very good neighborhood. If you're listing it at $339.99, is it better to list it at $4,000?
Yeah, so the question, again, for everybody on social media is just in regards to pricing for the rentals, Dave's question. Really a good one. So from my experience, it is not as relevant as the example we talked about before. With rentals, my best advice is if you go to either Rentometer, so instead of like Speedometer, you go to rentometer.com. I know Zillow also has this where you can look and see how am I priced compared to other similar bedroom units in that area. So if you have a 4-bedroom unit, look for other 4-bedroom single-family homes, for example, in your location in Edina. And then what you want to do is just be in the ballpark. In other words, if you're $300 higher, if you're $200 higher, you may find people not reaching out to you. But if you are priced competitively compared to what you see on those sites, that's where it will really help. And that's how you'll get it rented. Pricing a rental property, it's all about just being competitive with those other properties, but it's always by the number of bedrooms. So in other words, if it's a 3-bedroom unit versus a 4-bedroom unit, you have to compare similar number of bedrooms.
Right. But the whole psychological or practical comment or outlook here is not as relevant as it is with selling.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Dave, are you doing anything fun for Memorial Day?
Well, I'm going to be celebrating and going to with family and we're probably going to a program a little bit on Monday, and then I'm on extension with my taxes, and this is I carved out the weekend. Because I want to get it done, so it's not going to be there in September. How's that?
Dave, have you seen The Great Gatsby?
I have not.
Oh, good. You saved 2 hours of your life that you would never get back. Yeah,
Hey.
trust me when I tell you, Dave. Just stay home. Don't go.
Hey, thanks for listening, Dave. Hope you and your family have a great Memorial Day weekend, okay? No, thank you for your kind note and listening. Have a great weekend. What a great caller, great
Yeah.
question, guys.
Yeah, that is actually a really good question. And
Yep.
and I agree. I don't think it's as relevant because it's not a list price where, every single site out there is geared towards flat numbers.
Every website.
Yeah, this is more of a personal thing. Would you rather see $299,999, versus $3,000?
Yeah.
And the one that popped out for me is the fact that when you're looking for a rental, you're not going to go in there and offer them more than what they're putting out there.
That's
It's
right.
not a competition type scenario.
Yeah. Great job, guys. Mike, last thoughts for listeners?
Go see The Great Gatsby this weekend if you haven't seen it. Scott's really selling. Scott's using reverse psychology right now.
Yes, he
because-
is.
And now I want to go see it to see how bad it really is. To be honest with you. So
Yeah, well, you can rent that one, and the other one is Bugsy.
Oh,
Bugsy's number 2 worst.
Hey, Jared, great job.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Jared360.com. Scott, nice show, bud.
Yeah, you too.
Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're here to help you if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest. mnrealestateshow.com. Have a great weekend, Memorial Day. Thank you for so many folks watching the whole hour. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you picked up some good tips today, good thoughts. Mike, Jared, Scott, nice job, guys.
Thank you.
thank you,
Thanks.
Ryan.
Thank you for having me.
We will be back next weekend, everybody. Hope you have a great Memorial Day. Until then, we're signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.